for nonsense
Cool.
and crazy shit.
Cool.
Hopefully it doesn't do that the echo thing. That would suck.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Let's see. Alright, copy that. And I'm gonna shoot that to you guys so you guys can do your thing.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
There you go.
What? Oh, there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a capital Z. That's what I was messing up on. I was like, why can't I find you? So why can I not see this stream? Is it unlisted?
No, it's on public.
Why can I not see it?
I don't know.
I'm on your channel and I don't see it at all.
Refresh. I had to do that.
Because it says excellent connection, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna close out of it and try and reopen it. Yoink. Maybe that'll work. The answer is no. Why?
Hey DK, your job is to let me know if anyone is saying anything in the whatever the chat thing.
Oh, well, we're already off to a terrible start. Can you guys just send me the link? I can't see it.
Yeah, I've got it. I'll send it in the wait room.
Alright, thanks.
Not a problem. The wait list, I should say.
Oh wait, hold up. He treated it. There we go.
Well, I posted it in the wait list anyway.
No.
I'm gonna head into the WTBS live. DK, do you see that room?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm already there.
Right.
I've already sent my link. Oh wait, I gotta go send it to Crossroads too.
Boom. There's that.
Get in here.
What the fuck? Oh, okay. Alright, let me know when you two are ready, because I'm ready to start this show off with a fucking bang. It'll be awesome.
I'm ready, bro. I still have like over half of my dinner left, but I'm...
Cool, I'm ready. I'm there.
Also, why do you use light mode on Twitter?
Because I like it.
I use dark mode on everything.
No, it helps
It's
me
like
see
the-
shit.
It's like the,
Excuse me.
What's that commercial? Frank's Red Hot, where the fucking grandma's like, I put that shit on everything! Dude, when I first heard that on the radio, I'm like, what?
Alright, I will be right back.
I like the
I'm gonna go get
TV
my
commercial where it has the alien.
I'm gonna go get
Oh
myself
yeah,
a
that was
coffee.
like an acid trip. That was great. I think that's about as big enough as a bang to start this off with.
Well, I'm gonna go get myself a coffee, and then we will start this show.
Alrighty. I've got my sodas ready and I got my cigarettes handy.
I'm gonna welcome Holly. The echo's bad. Oh, that's great. Jekyll's having echo. I don't hear echo. Oh yeah. Does he even have headphones on? Was he using headphones?
I don't think so.
That's why the echo's there. Alright, I'm gonna go get a water. Because I
Oh,
need
the
to
echo-
stay
wait, hold
hydrated.
on,
Stay
time out.
hydrated.
Time out. You said the echo's there because of the headphones?
It said it was because you didn't have headphones.
Alright, there we go. Now I
At
got
least
some
I think
headphones
that's
on.
what it said. Cool.
Do you guys still hear the echo?
I'm not really hearing an echo, but I got headphones in and I got the media volume turned down on my phone for the live.
Also, I have no cold water, so I'm sad, but I have water. I won't be freezing my ass off today.
Alright, you fuckers ready for this?
She said that's
ready.
Alright. Thank you everybody for showing up for the very first pilot episode of With That Being Said. If y'all have been, picking up and watching a lot of the presidential shit, and there's this doctor lady on there that's always saying, with that being said, she says that sentence, oh, with that being said, it's like, shut the fuck up. And so it's annoying as shit, so of course I have to name my show with that being said. So with that being said, let's do this. Here we go.
With that being said, we're starting. Oh shit.
Yeah, I know. Autocorrect beats me.
Also, I gotta say that the song you chose for the intro is really good. It's not copyrighted.
Alrighty. With that being said, I love that intro. That.
Mm-hmm.
Is that song copywritten?
Couldn't tell you. Don't know.
What a great pick, then.
I stole it off of the internet or off of YouTube a long time ago. I've been trying to write something to it, and I can't get the right feel for it. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna use that as my intro to the show."
Nice.
Welcome, Jacksonville.
What's up, Jacksonville? What up, buddy? I accidentally tagged you as the guest there today because I'm retarded, and Jay caught me on it. So thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
All right, let's
Everyone
get this.
Everyone in chat, we got to give a round of applause for Jekyl for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, we can all hear the claps. Come on, just clap.
Golf clap. All right. Episode 1 is going to be called Buttstocks and Bullshit. And the Buttstocks part, I don't know if you've seen it, Jay. Have you seen the video where this guy claims that at one of the fucking events, a guy got dehydrated, fell down, and his shotgun went off and shot one of his own guys? And
I've heard about the NFAC thing, but I never actually watched the video of it. I've just seen people doing reactions talking about it.
About the guy getting shot, or about the guy that
about
claims...
the incident.
Okay, well, we got a video here. I hope you haven't seen it because it's fucking hilarious. And
probably not.
And I want to get your take on it because he's claiming. There's a little backstory on it. He's claiming that an Army veteran who was a sergeant major is saying that Buttstocks can do what this guy's about to say it can do. And I was laughing my dick off about it because it's fucking so ludicrous that a sergeant major can become a sergeant major without knowing the mechanics of all of the weapons. Like when I went to my sergeant's board, I had to know everything about every weapon. And he's a sergeant major, so he's got to know shit, right? You would think. So, So here we go, Jay. This is going to be I want your opinion after we watch this thing. DK, I'll get yours after Jay's. So here we go.
Alrighty.
Let's go.
And I bang it. Look what just happened.
The boat goes forward. The weapon has fired.
So it's kind of odd, but almost a month before NFAC did their march in Louisville, the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol seized about 10,000 weapon parts that were being shipped from China to the U.S. and that were seized in Louisville, Kentucky. But why would China do that? Because China supports the Civil War attempt from Black Lives Matter and their militant groups like NFAC. So they're sending parts for them to upgrade their assault weapons to automatic. I don't know, is it just a coincidence that they got seized a month before NFAC was in Louisville? Well, after watching my good buddy Grandmaster Jay again talk about the shooting at the rally in Louisville, it's all starting to come together.
I'm going to show you just how stupid some people are.
I'm gonna show you just how stupid some people are.
Yeah, buddy, show me how stupid some people are, please. I would love for you to do that.
I bought this weapon back in 1990.
1990.
Oh, okay, so this makes sense now. So China is sending y'all new parts for your guns because all of them are from 1990. It makes sense now, my lord.
The interesting thing about this weapon is if I pull back the bolt, see that? See the bolt? There's no bullet in there. Pay very close attention. If I'm not paying attention and I take this weapon and I bang it, look what just happened. The bolt goes forward. The weapon has fired. I didn't touch the trigger. I just simply banged it on the table. And I bang it. Look what just happened.
All right. Jay.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
What is your take on this guy, this Sergeant Major?
I've seen the video that is being played, not the guy's reaction, but the original video that he did, and I've seen several other videos on this, and it's so ludicrous. I think this dude is doing stolen valor. I don't think he was ever in the military.
I agree.
The shit that he says is just so fucking ludicrous that it's just... And I'm not even military. However, my father was military, and he was in the Air Force for 22 years, I want to say. And I know gun safety better than this guy does. And I don't even own a gun.
And so you're a civilian that knows if the bolt goes forward, the round did not fire. It chambered a round, but it did not fire the fucking round.
Right. Exactly.
That's why they made the
and me and some other people that are military have talked about this, and it's everybody keeps saying the same thing. This is so ludicrous. It's fucking laughable that people think like this.
Like, if he's a sergeant major and he thinks that weapon just fired, I feel sorry for anybody who was under his command.
No doubt. They're
DK,
all going to get their dicks blown off.
DK, chime in. What did you think about that video?
Well, obviously, if you hit something hard enough, a reaction is going to start. But that doesn't mean... What fires the weapon is the trigger, not the bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The bolt chambers around.
Yeah, I don't know much about weapons, but I know that.
well, you don't even have to hit it that hard. It's a bump stock for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If for some reason the bolt release does not work and it's for some reason got fucked up or is malfunctioning, you could just have the weapon, crack it against your shoulder, and it just chambered the round for you.
Yeah.
Oh, AK Jesus actually, I think, did a video about this where he actually showed where he did that, where he was at a firing range and he loaded the clip and then bumped it on his shoulder and then started pulling the trigger to fire it.
Yeah, that's what the bump stock is for, is to chamber around so you can keep your weapon up and then just bump it, and then guess what? You chamber it around so you can keep firing. That's the whole point of it. And this guy is saying that the dude that dropped his weapon, the bolt went forward and shot somebody. But what he mentions later in the video, I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's like 18 minutes long. But
yeah, it's stupid long.
The dude dropped an old ass shotgun, and it hit cement, and the fragments fucked his own guy up. That thing was unserviceable. It should be up on a wall and mounted and say, "Hey, look at this weapon." Not taking
not to mention what they fail to realize is if you go to drop any kind of weapon and you even accidentally hit the trigger at all while it's dropping, it's gonna fire.
Yep.
Because that's what the trigger is meant for. Yeah, because that's what the trigger is meant for, is to fire the weapon. So if you go to drop it, and as your finger's coming out of the hole, you're going to accidentally fire it. And that's why you're always told that when you're bringing your gun up or you're doing a sweep or whatever, you keep your finger control where your finger is not on the trigger.
Exactly. If you're holding a weapon, your finger is not like this. You're going to have it up against the trigger well and not in it. But that's a negligent discharge no matter what.
Yep.
So that's why you keep the safety on. And if it's an old ass piece of shit shotgun and the safety don't work, you probably shouldn't be carrying the motherfucker loaded.
Exactly. Not to mention, there's been people drummed out of the military for having their finger on the trigger as they were doing a sweep instead of having the finger off of the trigger.
Yep, I can vouch for the fact that it's an instant Article 15 if you have a negligent discharge, because my first tour I was a PFC, private first class. That's the third grade in the Army, and we just got back from a 4-day patrol, tired as shit. But the first thing you do as a soldier is clean your weapon, no matter what. Before you go to bed, clean your weapon. So I had mine disassembled. I had it all clean. I was putting it back together, and then somebody came in and they told me that, hey, you just got promoted to be a team leader, so you need to go have a meeting with, for the first sergeant right now. I was like, shit, okay. So I put my weapon back together, and I put the mag in, and I was like, fuck, I didn't do a weapons functions check, which is what you're supposed to do after you put it together, for those who don't know. And I was so tired that I didn't stop to think. I already put my mag in. So I charge my weapon, and I chamber around, and I go to squeeze the trigger. Yep, safety works. And then for some reason I completely skip step 2, where you just do a single fire, and I put it on 3-round burst. And I was like, I had the weapon. Thank God I had it straight up and down like you're supposed to, and I blasted 3 rounds through the roof of the MWR, which is where you go to watch movies and chill out and hang out and play Pokemon and shit. So I straight blasted 3 fucking rounds to the roof. And everyone's like, oh shit, who's shooting? I was like, fuck, I don't know who's shooting. And I was like, oh shit, it's me. Needless to say, I did not maintain the team leader spot after that. They took my weapon. They gave me a pole. That was my weapon for 3 days.
That's great.
That's like my dad told me the story of the reason that we were all brought up where we did not use derogatory terms for anybody. If we did, we would get backhanded if we used the N-word or anything like that, because when my dad first got in, he was an MP, and he was working in the munitions, and one of the first days of his job, there was this new recruit that came in and handed him his M16 barrel first loaded. And he said this huge black instructor came in and took the kid to the ground, took the gun away from him, and read him the riot act up one wall and down the other. And my dad said from that day on, because his father was not necessarily racist, but from a different kind. And from that day on, though, my dad said, you do not use derogatory terms for anybody, or you will get backhand. So we were brought up in that kind of lifestyle where we saw people as individuals and not group them into a terminology.
The fact that threat had to be placed is actually kind of stupid. It shouldn't. Now, I get slavery was a thing, segregation was a thing, but we're past that. We're many years past that.
Right.
Grow the fuck up.
But you know how people are when they're a kid. If they hear it in music or TV or whatever, they're gonna use those terms and not know what it means.
Yeah, they're gonna repeat it.
Yeah. My dad cut it off at the knees, so to speak, when we were young.
Yep.
And told us if you're gonna use those terms, I'm gonna teach you why you don't.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I've been teaching my son and my kids. Is you don't label people. You don't put them in a little box of you're a black person or you're Chinese. Because in the Army, I see 2 colors. I see blue and I see red. Anyone red is an enemy. Everyone else is blue. It doesn't matter what skin color you are. It don't matter.
Exactly. And as I grew up, I always read that everybody bleeds the same color. So no matter what your pigment is, everybody's human. So that's where my philosophies come from. Is I've read a lot, and I read about Gandhi and Jesus and fucking all these people that talked about peaceful protest and not doing violent acts, because violence creates more violence.
Yeah, violence begets more violence. That is correct. Well, on kind of on the same subject is going to be our next part, which is we already did bump stocks. Now we're on to bullshit.
I like some bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know where.
As long as it's not flying.
As long as there's nothing on Florida man fucking Olaf, then we good.
No, it's nothing about. Well, kind of about Florida, a little bit.
Well, we already have Florida man in the comment section. You know, Jacksonville Joe is the Florida man.
Well, Jacksonville might love this. I don't know where everybody in my circle is politically. I know where you are, Jay, just because of what you want me to react to all the time. So you're pro-Trump. I don't know where everyone else stands, but that's our next segment, which is bullshit. And
first, I actually got to send this to you guys because this is an actual thing that happened. This Florida man thing that I'm talking about, it actually happened. I got to send this. Hold up. I'm gonna send this in the waiting list thing. It actually happened, and it's fucking hilarious.
All right, we'll check that out as soon as we're done with all these slides and shit. Because I don't even have that pulled up. Who the fuck keeps calling me over and over? I don't even know who you are.
It's Florida man. Florida man's contacting you.
I had to get my phone number is the question. But
because Florida man has every single way to find people's phone numbers. He you know, he just meditates. He talks to the underworld. He's like, give me the phone number of this random person, please.
Shit.
And whoever's there's like, yeah, sure, motherfucker, you got it.
You were always on crack, TK. Every time you were on the damn shows. Bro,
it's because I'm so energetic.
This is where my stance is on this whole Trump-Biden thing. Even if you hate Trump as a person, you fucking hate him, take him out of this equation. Just focus on Harris and Biden. And that's we're going to get into this because it's these two motherfuckers right here. I have no words to describe them because you got one idiot who doesn't even know who he is. At one point he said, you vote for your next president. Go out, vote. Go vote for Trump. It's like, what? You're Biden.
Oh, no, I've got a few even better examples. Harris has messed up and said, you need to vote for Biden-Harris because that's a vote for a Harris presidency. And Biden agreed with her.
Oh, I'm going to get into that because that's the thought process I got. But I want everybody to watch this. It's a 4-minute video, but it's hilarious. This motherfucker right here.
The one thing I'll say about this topic real quick is the presidential debate was 2 5-year-olds battling it out. And the vice president debate was actually 2 adults.
Well,
sure, but at the same time, Trump was debating 2 people.
Yeah.
And not one.
I mean, he kept interrupting though. But
I give you that he interrupted, but at the same time, they were goading him into the interrupting.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not all for that. Honestly, this whole election, I'm just not interested in it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be 100% real with you guys.
Yeah, I can't stop watching news ever since that presidential debate, which I understand what Trump was doing. That was his strategy. He wanted to piss off Biden to the point where he did what he did. He cracked under pressure.
Shut up, man.
Exactly. Yeah, who tells the president of the United States to shut up? I mean, really.
I fucking love that.
Well, he did.
And then the fucking fly on Pence's head.
The fly was the most talked about subject. People were saying that the fly came to him because he's a demonic person, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
And the reason that the media is focusing on that is because they're trying to take the steam away from the fact that Biden slaughtered her in the debate.
Oh yeah, she got fucking demolished. But what I'm going to focus on first before we get into all the other subjects of all this, and I'm going to put you on the hot seat for it. And during the hot seat segment, for those who don't know, is the hot seat is whoever my guest is tonight is Jay. I'm going to fire some questions, some either questions or what has happened in the news or whatever, and Get first thought reactions. Whatever comes to your head first. All right, so we're gonna watch this clip, and we're gonna get to the hot seat. This is a clip of why I know this motherfucker is not going to be our president.
Welcome, Daniel Armstrong. Are you
What's up,
ready
Dan?
to... What? Oh, God. I was going to make a joke. What's his name? There's another Armstrong dude. And I can't remember his name.
Neil?
Neil Armstrong? Maybe, probably.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a
Right, while you guys are going to do this, I'm going to treat a cut I just found on my finger. I'll be
That's
back.
all right.
The beauty of it, and what a neat town. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts. Think about it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. 50 million people. In 2007, when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability.
That's a lot of people.
720 million women back in the workforce. You had people like Margaret Thatcher. You had people like the former chairman and leader of the party in Germany. Legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my trust.
Like his strange hold on Defense Secretary Ash Carter's wife, Stephanie.
Creepy Joe.
See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talked about it.
And so the younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No. I have no empathy for it. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
It was near the end of the Biden for President campaign when reporters were starting to uncover, accusations of plagiarism, both in his campaign speeches and in his coursework in law school, misrepresentations about his grades, etc. And there you see Biden, full of bluster when one person in the kitchen or wherever in New Hampshire said, didn't you inflate your grades? Biden lost it and started berating the man in a way that could only make him look like a bully and like a blowhard.
And the other question is, could you quickly, I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect. And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
The Me Too movement has forced a cultural reckoning around the issue of sexual violence and harassment against women in America.
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching.
And why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
I was a Democratic caucus. Ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. Get your work straight, Jack. Look, here's the deal. I'm not voting for you. Well, I knew you weren't, man. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me. We've acted together. We have never been unable to overcome whatever the problem was. If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight. Thank you very much. I'm beginning to see why your wife left you. The president has a big stick. Oh, I'm not going to be a mule. I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom. That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of I think it's $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air. I promise you, the president has a big stick. I promise you. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Okay. These two right here are just I don't even know what to say. he's got so much of these things that he does all the time. Like when he was asked about, how many people the coronavirus had killed, he was saying like 200 million people have already died from corona. That's more people than we have in America. Well, half.
Yeah.
About half.
He's an idiot.
It's like, okay, so half of us are dead apparently. We're walking around with the virus. All right, here's
yeah. Biden thinks that we're living in a zombie apocalypse. Apparently.
Apparently, yeah. All right, here's my hot seat. All right, Biden and Harris have both been flip flopping on fracking. They'll say, yes, we're going to end fracking. Yes, we're going to end fracking. And then they turn, and when they're in a different audience, they're like, we're going to not end fracking. We're going to keep fracking alive. What is your take on that?
On fracking or on their flip flopping?
Their inability to stick to one or the other.
They're career politicians. They tell whatever group they're around what they want to hear. That's one of the many reasons why I like Trump, is because Trump has an opinion and he tells you his opinion and doesn't change it.
Yeah.
Unless he's presented with facts.
Yeah. If it's not a popular opinion, he still doesn't change it. He tells you what he thinks and he doesn't give a shit. Like,
yeah.
If anyone follows his Twitter, it's always going off.
And if he does change his opinion, he tells you the reason I changed my opinion was I was presented with these facts.
Yep.
Check for yourself, and that's why.
Exactly. And I love the fact that he has told everybody from the beginning the solution cannot be worse than the problem. And he wanted to end lockdowns, and everyone was against it. These two are against it. They want lockdowns back. And the CDC and now the WHO have come out and said we cannot keep the lockdowns. It is worse than the virus itself. So Trump was right, but nobody is saying, "Hey, check it out, Trump's right."
Well, that's like when the outbreak first started, and Trump was like, "We see that China has restricted travel into China, but they're allowing people to leave China. We're going to shut down travel from China into the U.S." And then when the rest of the world started having the problem, he said, we're going to shut down travel into the U.S. from these other places too. And Biden and Harris were down in Chinatown going, see, these people are great. Come down to Chinatown and eat. And it's like, no, you need to social distance and everything else. And they were against the mask mandate before Trump was. When Trump went and was against the mask mandate, that's when they started using masks. Everything they do is one step behind whatever Trump's doing. And claiming that he's evil. And the whole reason everybody is against Trump is because he's not a politician.
And that is why I voted for him last time, because I hate politicians.
And it boggles my mind that prior to Obama, everybody said we need to get a non-politician in office, and that's why Sanders and Ron Paul were being popular, was because people wanted a change and didn't want career politicians as the president. All of a sudden, as soon as Obama got elected, everybody went, oh, well, he's not a career politician, he's just a politician, and we need people like that. I'm like, no, we need non-politicians to straighten this shit out. People for decades have been saying, we need to stop wasting our money on foreign aid and take care of our own people. And Trump got in office and did that, and everybody's against him. Why?
Because he doesn't side with one side or the other just because it's going to get him popular points. He does a lot of unpopular shit, but it's great for America. It doesn't matter about policies and all that shit about Republicans and all that. But
exactly, I think he missed a great opportunity of turning down the Republican nomination and going and running an independent for his second term. Because I think if he ran as an independent in his second term and ended up having to debate a Democrat and a Republican, he would have annihilated them both, and more people would open their eyes to the propaganda mainstream media is pushing.
Oh yeah.
And he would get reelected anyway.
What media sources do you follow? Like CNN, Fox, whatever.
I don't usually watch mainstream media, but if I do, it's usually Fox. But I get my media from like Tim Pool, Louder with Crowder, the Drinking Bros, you know, places that aren't mainstream that talk about the news, and
the actual news, not the
let you know whether they are, yeah, and they let you know if they're a commentator and they're biased or not, instead of pretending to be, non-biased.
Well, it drives me nuts that there's like 90% of the media is democratically run, and like Fox News is more Republican than I guess in the middle, because they do talk a lot of shit about Democrats, so they are obviously a Republican ran news source. But if you switch back and forth between the two, it is insane how much news is slanted towards one way or the other. And I think that news should be an independent thing, can't be run by a political side. We need to get back to news where they actually reported the fucking news.
Well, I have a shirt idea I want to get made and go to a Trump rally wearing it and just see if anybody notices. And the shirt idea is to say on the front, like, MM, what was it? GBA. And on the back it say "Make Media Great Again." No, I'm sorry. It was make media non-biased again. Is what the term is, and then just use the acronym in the beginning of it, or on the front of it.
Well, when you go to these rallies, that's actually one of the hot seat things. Is Trump came out, he got COVID, he got better, and the first one he did was down in Florida. He had thousands of people attend. And Biden, at the same time, went down to Arizona, went down to Phoenix. He had 15 people, and then come to find out, most of those people worked for him or worked for the media sources that were around. So they weren't even people. I think the final count that was not affiliated with either him or a media source was 2. But the polls are saying that he's killing it everywhere. Trump is behind in double digits everywhere. How is that when he gets 2 people and Trump gets thousands, and they're saying, well, it's because they're social distancing, and they social distance themselves way the fuck away from his rally.
I don't believe the polls, because Tim Pool brought it up. Is a lot of people, when they're polled, they will give the talking points of whichever party they're affiliated with and not tell you exactly how they're voting for fear of repercussions. So they keep it to themselves.
Either that, or if it's an online poll, which a lot of them are right now with COVID, everything's shut down. Just on YouTube and all my music stuff, I have 5 different accounts, so I can log in 5 different ways and vote for whoever. So how is that accurate at all?
It's not. It's also one of the reasons I fear the mail-in ballots and the online voting, because there are so many ways to manipulate it.
Well, not only manipulate it, but they're finding hundreds and hundreds of, if not thousands. I think one part had like 100,000 ballots were all fucked up. But people are discarding them. They're paying the U.S. Postal Service to open them. If it's a Trump vote, toss it. They're paying Postal Service employees to do this. And they're saying that there's no fraud.
Right. And what's even funnier about that is I work with some people that are diehard Democrats. And I hear them talk about this same stuff, but they claim that it's Trump doing it and not the Democrats.
Why would Trump do that to his own vote?
Well, no. What they're saying is that the ballots being thrown away are for Biden.
Oh. Yeah, I don't.
Because of the media doing the story about Trump getting rid of mailboxes and this, that, and the other, and it's already been debunked that what that was they were old mailboxes that needed to be replaced, and they pulled them up and replaced them. But the media said that they were just pulling them up and not replacing them.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of different counties around across America that are making it so there's only one drop box per county. Which, if you live in Texas, you gotta drive an hour and a half to get there. But I understand they're pissed off about that, and I kind of agree with the Democrats on that. That's bullshit. Like if you take somebody who is disabled who can't drive an hour and a half to drop off a ballot, that's kind of fucked up. But to find hundreds of thousands of discarded Trump things, that proves that it ain't Trump doing it. Because his shit's being discarded.
What I love about the state I live in Mississippi is they've started doing voter registration, and we just got our voter registration cards in the mail. So you have, even before they had the cards, you had to show your driver's license to vote at the polling offices.
And that's
how
it should be.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's how it should be. If you don't have an ID, if you don't have an ID that is from the state or whatever, then you obviously are not a legal person. I'm not saying just Mexican or anything like that. So don't even start the shit on that, everybody. You have to be a registered citizen. If you don't have an ID, that means you're not of age to vote.
How do you buy
rated R movies?
And when they talk about how Trump is, how racist is it for the Democratic Party to say it's unfair to make you have a driver's license to prove that you can vote, when everybody in the country needs to have a driver's license to get into bars, to buy alcohol, to buy cigarettes?
Rated R movies. I get carded for rated R movies all the time. Like if I can pass for 17, holy shit, I must be aging well or something. And my parents didn't really give a two shits because I got tattoos all over my fucking self. So
yeah,
they're stupid.
It's just dumbfounding how openly racist the Democratic Party has gotten, and people don't see it.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue into the next hot seat question. Is
you're welcome.
They're saying over and over and over, and Harris keeps bringing it up, and Biden keeps bringing it up. The news on the on the left keep bringing it up, and it's getting so repetitive and fucking old because they're stupid as shit. They're saying that Trump has never disavowed racist organizations. When
that's bullshit.
He has repeatedly, even before he became president. And it was Biden who went to the KKK guy's funeral. He's sitting there saying, "If you don't vote for me,
Clinton
you ain't
did
black."
too.
Yep, the whole left side is attached to it, and he says Antifa is an idea. What? How is Antifa an idea? An idea does not burn down stores and loot and do riots and shit. But they're not saying anything about those people not wearing masks. But they're saying that Trump rallies are bad because there's thousands of people gathered in collective small spaces, not social distancing. That's a super spreader. But the Antifa shit is not. That's fine.
Yeah, well, what they fail to talk about with the rallies is every person that goes to the rally has to have a wellness check done before they get allowed in. And if you have any kind of fever or cough or whatever, they turn you away. Whereas with like Antifa and Black Lives Matter rallies, they don't give a shit as long as you show up.
Yeah, as long as you are a part of Antifa and want to destroy shit, you're good.
And the whole thing with the Trump and racism, he's stated over and over again that he disavows racism. He actually signed an executive order classifying Antifa and, let me repeat that, and the KKK as domestic terror organizations.
Yep. How long has KKK been around? Like since fucking forever. And
since
why didn't
the 50s.
Why didn't Obama do that? Why didn't Clinton do that? Why didn't anybody do that until Trump, who's supposedly racist, finally did it?
And what they point to is when the thing in Carolina happened, where the guy went in and shot up the churches and stuff. He said there were good people on both sides. Well, he wasn't talking about the extreme sides. He was talking about the left and the right. There are good people in both of those groups.
Yeah, the media cuts off half of the conversation.
Exactly.
It's
ridiculous. It's been debunked several times. Like I said, even Tim Pool did a story where he played the full clip and talked about how Trump has said that he disavows the KKK. He doesn't like them. They are evil, and that there are good people both on the left and the right, but the extremists need to go.
Yep. And like, if I was in his position, I would be acting exactly like him, because they're saying, okay, can you right now to my face say you disavow whatever? He's so tired of answering that question. He's just like, yeah. That's why he in the presidential debate he didn't
another
say,
thing.
Yeah. He just said,
yeah. That's another thing that annoys the hell out of me is the media keeps running with this whole thing of he never disavowed the KKK or the Proud Boys during the debate. Half the country didn't even know what the Proud Boys was. It was the most Googled search thing on the internet right after the debate.
And they're clearly not racist.
Yeah, and two, the Proud Boys take in anybody, as long as you're a man. And then on top of all that, he said, sure. And then when he said, stand down and stand by, he was talking to the Proud Boys because they see themselves as a protector group for Trump supporters and not racist or wanting to do anything against any specific race.
Yep, and when he said stand down and stand by, he wasn't saying, we're going to go to war. He was telling them to stand down and stand by, let the police handle it.
Yeah, that too.
So,
that too.
I don't understand that whole thing.
And for those that don't know what the Proud Boys is, it's hilarious because it was started as a joke by a comedian to be a men's group that was about men supporting men in being men, and their initiation was they had to get into a fight with a member, and afterwards they would all get together and have a beer. That's all they are.
Well, I have yet to see
it's a bunch of men being men.
I have yet to see any clips of the Proud Boys going down the street and just wrecking shit to wreck shit. I've yet to see that because it hadn't happened.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. The only time that you ever see any clip of the Proud Boys being violent is because they've been attacked or they're protecting somebody that has been attacked.
Yeah. That whole thing is just ridiculous. What was your take on not Nancy Pelosi, the Harris during the vice presidential debate? Her attitude. That's what I watched the whole thing. Her attitude is what pissed me off the most. Not what she was saying, more how she was saying it.
Well, full disclosure, I refuse to watch the vice presidential debate because one, the vice presidents aren't running for office. The presidents are, and they're just there for the ride.
Well, when it comes to Harris, that might not be the case.
True. I was about to say, unless, of course, the president dies in office or steps down, and then the vice president takes over, which I don't understand why they're so fired up to try to get Trump out of office during his tenure, because then Pence becomes president, and they don't like Pence even worse.
Well, that's you keep doing segues into my shit, and I swear, people, I did not give him these topics beforehand.
Nope, I do not know what topics we're discussing.
Well,
not even I know.
Next, we're going to be talking about the Crypt Keeper, Nancy Pelosi.
I knew that dude in Proud Boys, a professional Antifa ass kicker when they are forced to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you can't tell, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back, and you're like off topic, motherfucker. I'm talking about the Crypt Keeper, Nancy Pelosi.
I was reading what Daniel posted.
Well, she showed her hand. She showed the Democrats' hand because she's stupid. She's fighting for the amendment, the 25th Amendment, which, for those who don't know, is when the president is either physically or mentally unable to do his duties. They need the vice president's approval, and I think it's like 20 of the cabinet. I could be wrong on the numbers, but she wants to repeal that and make edits and shit. And I think that is because of Harris and Biden. they want him in office so bad because they know he's a fucking retard that can't remember his birthday or his own name. So that way they can say he's not mentally able to do his duties. And they will do this new 25th Amendment to make Harris the president. That is exactly what I think is going on, because she keeps on saying when she's answering questions, I guarantee that Biden will not do that. Biden said he won't do that. This is Biden's stance. So that way she's not actually lying when he gets out of office, and she does the opposite, because Biden said it, not her.
Right.
So what's your take on that? You can call it a, I don't know. I don't know. People call it a far-fetched. They call it a conspiracy theory. But when it's in your face like this, do you think it's a conspiracy theory or actual fact?
No, I'm pretty sure they're trying to do this, but it's one more thing that they're hanging their hat on, that they're trying to get rid of Trump with, that is going to fail, because everything that they tried to throw at Trump has failed. They tried Russia collusion, and it was proven wrong. They tried to prove that he interfered in the election. It was wrong. They tried to prove that he had the sex tape in Russia. It was wrong. Nothing that they've ever had that they've tried to get him on has worked. And it's hilarious because he even leaks shit to them to try to give them fuel, and he debunks it as soon as it comes out by going, this is fake. It's like a huge troll.
Well, you said you didn't watch the debate, but Harris was talking about, the new seating of Judge Barrett, that it was a waste of time when we should be working on the stimulus instead. And then Pence pounced on her about the court packing thing. We all want to know the answer, and by them dodging the answer, Biden even said straight out, you'll know my position on court packing after the election. So that right there tells me that, yes, they will pack the court, which will destroy the Constitution. And it was fucking hilarious because she had this little attitude with her, and she's like, I'm speaking. Okay. And then proceeded to give a history lesson about Abraham Lincoln, because Lincoln, back in 1861, he said that he couldn't, put or nominate for a seat that was open, and they're all over the place. So Abe Lincoln even did this. Abe Lincoln waited. Abe Lincoln didn't put another person in that seat till after the election, when the actual fact of her history lesson was the fact that the Senate was not in session. They didn't have airplanes and shit back then where they could fly them from one place to another to have a meeting. And as soon as they came back to session, day one, that's what he did. He nominated for a seat, because that's what the Constitution says. So do you think it is constitutionally correct, or even not even constitutionally correct? Do you think it's a good idea for the president to nominate and put somebody in that seat after the late, Justice Ginsburg died?
Well, in my opinion, the Supreme Court, as soon as a seat is vacated, the president is obligated to nominate someone, and the House and Senate should be going ahead and having their hearings to see who is the best fit. And the president has a list of nominees, and they go down the list to figure out who the best fit is. And if it's the first person, great. If it's the second person, okay. You go down the list. And that's what Trump is doing. He is abiding by the Constitution and has every right that as soon as these seats are open to nominate people. It's the House and Senate that ratifies that they're being put in that seat. So if you have a problem, you need to vote your senators out and not the president.
I agree. I think the president is doing what is constitutionally correct, because he's not the president all the way up until elections start. He's president for 3 years, so it's his job until that 3-year mark to do what the Constitution says. And the Senate, by constitutional law, has to vote to put them in or not. They have to do the things that they're doing right now. And yes, it's taken away from them meeting for the coronavirus relief, but those questions and everything, them firing off of Judge Barrett, doesn't take all day. They can still have meetings afterwards. It takes like half a day, and then they stop, and then half a day, and then they stop. They got time to do the rest of the shit. It's just Nancy Pelosi is holding up the everything because she wants money for Democratic states like New York that are so fucked up and financially fucked that they were fucked before the virus hit. So why would we bail them out? That is not corona related.
Right.
So everyone else is saying no.
I've got a few thoughts on this. One,
okay.
I watched some of the confirmation hearing, and Amy Coney Barrett is a fucking savage.
Oh yeah,
she sat there with no notes or anything and went off the dome for every question they asked, and they tried to give her all sorts of what ifs that she responded with. I can't speak on that because it's not an actual court case that I have to rule on.
Yeah, she said it requires plaintiffs and it requires an actual case, not a what if case. She can't do it. That's unconstitutional.
Yeah, and that's what a judge should be. A judge should be completely non-biased and not allow their personal opinion to dictate what they do. And I loved what I saw of her on the questionings and all.
Yeah, I loved it too. She was firing back at these people and just knew so much. She has so much knowledge. She was talking about shit. I was like, what the fuck is that? So, and I love the fact that she is refusing to answer questions about like Roe v. Wade. She refuses to because she doesn't have everything in front of her. She doesn't know what the people are trying to go for. So she's not going to answer it off the top of her head without doing the research.
Right. Yeah, she's very legal minded in that she doesn't say anything that could incriminate her, and at the same time, she's very fair and balanced in what she talks about.
Yeah. Hey, is DK still here? Did he run off? Is there anybody waiting in line?
Nope.
Okay. Just so everyone knows, if you do want to jump in and give your opinion on any of these topics we're talking about, jump into the Discord server, the JMP Discord, and go to the voice chat tab that says waiting line. And DK will bring you up. Just so you know.
The only reason I'm not saying anything is because I'm really not into this election. If I was more into it, I'd definitely give my opinion on this stuff. But I'm just like, whatever. I stopped caring.
Well, the only reason, like, normally I'm not this big into politics. Normally I don't give a fuck. But this election, to me at least, is we have to either vote for the Constitution or the destruction of the Constitution. Because that's what's online here.
Oh yeah, and that's one other thing that I had wanted to bring up is I can't get behind the Democrats and what they're wanting to do because they want to actually do away with the Constitution and rewrite it and make it different. And it's like, this thing has been around for years and has been the backbone of our country and made us who we are today. Why do you want to change it?
It's why we're so successful as a state.
Yeah, and there are stipulations that if things happen that weren't addressed originally in the original Constitution, you can make amendments. Why do you need to have a whole new Constitution if you're not trying to destroy the American way and bring in socialism that doesn't work? Nowhere where socialism and communism has been implemented has it worked. It breeds corruption.
Exactly. What's up, DK?
Daniel, I know this election is very important, but even if I wanted to vote, I legally can't. I'm not old enough, so my opinion really doesn't matter.
No, opinions matter because, it teaches you things, even though you're not old enough to vote yet. It teaches you things like
I'm talking
like
about
just,
in this election. Like, if I were to vote, would be an opinion on who I want in office. So it really doesn't matter. That's what I'm talking about. Like, opinions do matter. Just the context that I'm not able to vote. That opinion doesn't matter.
Well, the way I put it to people that aren't old enough to vote is, this is the most important election to watch and look at, so that you can educate yourself on how to vote and what you need to do in upcoming elections when you can vote.
Yeah,
here's one thing
if you want to get on
the
backs of Democrats, or if you want to be on the backs of Republicans, this is like the perfect example to teach the younger people, because you have an extreme left and you have the right, and so you can be like, okay, well, I'm on board with this. And I believe what the Democrats are saying is, correct. That's your stance. That's fine. But educate yourself, and this is the perfect election to educate yourself.
The thing that I've been wanting for a long time is the school system to teach you stuff you'd actually use, like voting, taxes, all that type of stuff, when they actually don't.
And
they teach you fucking calculus.
Yeah, well, that's another thing that Trump is doing. He's actually trying to implement into the school system the teaching of the American way and capitalism, so that it's not being pushed aside, and that you know and understand how the country works, what it is. It's almost like reinstituting civics class for whenever I was younger, which they've done away with.
I agree, Dan. I'm going to be completely shocked if this video doesn't get blocked or taken down by YouTube, because we're basically bashing the Democratic Party. So we'll see if this video gets
I'm just not saying anything. I'm not risking my channel being taken down.
And for full disclosure, not only to the YouTube gods, but to everybody out there, I'm a registered independent. I'm not a Republican. I did vote Democrat when Dole and I think it was Clinton were running against each other. I voted for Clinton. And I did vote once for Obama. But it wasn't because of, who they were. It was for the policies they were doing at the time and what I educated myself and thought was best for the country.
See, well, I've been an independent my whole entire life, because I don't vote for Democrat or Republican just because they're one or the other. I vote for whoever I think is going to be best for the country. But the Democrats, the way they are right now, have made me sway more to the Republic side of things, because they're trying to destroy America. Republicans are trying to keep America great, because, like DK was saying, the school system, they're teaching some of the dumbest shit and leave out the important parts, because it doesn't suit their political agenda. They need to keep politics
out of the school. We've had conversations about Common Core and all that before, that it's just retarded.
One thing I remember when I was in school, like extremely young in Arizona, I had to learn how to write in cursive, and that was the stupidest shit ever. So I've never used it, and now since I've never used it, I can't read it.
Well, the only benefit to knowing how to write cursive is it allows you to have a signature instead of printing your name.
Even though my signature doesn't even look like my name.
My signature looks like a big ass scribble.
Oh,
pretty much.
Most people's do, but that's what makes you unique.
Yeah, the thing is, it keeps changing. So.
Or whatever. Yeah, well, instead of like back in the old days, people that didn't know how to write would put an X. And, there was millions of documents that had just an X down for the person's name. And that's one of the reasons why they taught you how to do a signature, because in the old days they used calligraphy, and it was a form of calligraphy, and it evolved into your signature so that you would have something uniquely you to write to say that this document is from me. Instead of just printing your name or having it typed on there, you had to sign the documents.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna give you a spoiler, DK. I'm gonna spoil something for you.
Oh hell yeah! I like spoilers.
The shit that you learn in school, you will use 10% of it in your adult life.
Yeah, I know. That's why I vouch against the school system so much.
You're gonna learn shit that you will never use. Like I've never in my life so far had to lean on my math learning and do algebra.
I mean, there's some points where that could come in useful. Like you're trying to figure out the a price of something out of a total, trying to figure out what you bought that you have no idea.
Yeah,
the
but
price
that's not, that's not algebra. You know
there,
that you know the numbers.
It is because you got to solve for a value that you don't know. It's very
called
basic algebra, but it's algebra.
Yeah, what you don't know is the answer.
When they bought my signature, I just cut my forehead and smashed my head against the paper. GG, Daniel.
Yeah.
GG. One thing that I really didn't like about learning cursive is how long they took on that course. Like, it's something that could have been taught in, like, maybe a week or two. But they took, like, 2 months of my life learning that. And it's like... Now that I have the mental capacity to even think about that stuff, it's like, why?
I give you that. A lot of the school system takes way too long to teach you certain things.
Yeah.
Because they want you to have a grasp of it that is beyond the basics, and a lot of times you don't need anything more than the basic.
Yeah.
Hey, DK, real quick.
Yeah.
The convicted Quaka, or however the hell you pronounce it. He was wanting to jump in at one point. Is he still wanting to do that? Can you check up on him?
Yeah, let's check up on him.
All right. Well, all right.
Also,
you can just
one thing
call him
here
Jeff.
That it makes sense, but I'm not all for it. You're required to learn Spanish, because here it's a lot of people speak Spanish.
Right.
I can understand it, but I don't want to be forced to learn something that I don't want.
Yeah. Well, what they do in the American school system is usually you have to take a foreign language, and depending on where you live, depends on what language you're taught. In Mississippi, they'll allow you to pick between Spanish or French. And a lot of people take the Spanish because A, it's the easiest language to learn, and B, because you're closer to Mexico.
That's a great message there, Daniel. You use school to learn stuff. I just use school to get laid. That's why I just bust out laughing in the middle of what you were saying. One thing.
Dan's a huge troll, but he's fun.
Yeah.
Well, with learning Spanish, I learned more Spanish when I was working doing drywall than I learned in Spanish class.
Really?
Oh yeah.
When I transferred schools because we moved, so I was in 8th grade middle school, and I go in. I told them I know nothing about Spanish. If I'm going to learn Spanish, I need to be put in the first class. They put me in the last fucking class, where everything was in fucking Spanish. Needless to say, I failed.
Well, a funny story for me is when I was in school, we moved to Japan.
I really want to learn Japanese.
For my junior, senior, and half of my sophomore year, and because I was on the military base, it went by the curriculum of American schools, but it's a Department of Defense school, and so we had to take a foreign language. They offered Japanese. Well, I took the class and went from basic Japanese to advanced Japanese and knew no Japanese because I learned with a quickness that class was more about how you could cheat and get away with it than actually learning. Because I had a friend that was half Japanese that would give me the answers for everything that I had to do, and I actually got caught cheating on a test. The teacher walked up and I had to cheat the answers on my desk with the test, and I was writing and copying them, and he was like, "Rigby-san, what's this?" And I was like, "Oh, you have a chart on the wall. I'm writing down what I think the answer is first and then putting it on the test, making sure I'm right." And he went, "Oh," and handed me the paper back.
There's 3 languages I want to learn. I want to learn Japanese, German, and Korean. I don't know why.
Well,
I know Japanese because at one point I watched a lot of anime. Korean because I guess every once in a while It's weird.
Well, I'll put it
people
to you
like
this
recommend
way.
me K-pop stuff to listen to, and I
Mhm.
understand nothing about what they're saying or what the song's about. German just
Mhm.
because I think it's cool.
Right. Well, something I can tell you is all of the Asian languages have similarities because they all derive from the same culture, but
Yes.
they have differences from their regions. It's almost like in America where we all speak English, but you have different dialects. Like in the South, you have certain words and terms that you use that people in the North don't use, and people
Well,
out West use different terms and stuff like that. And that's
well,
basically the way it is over in the Asian countries.
that's why they say
So
that
if you learn
America.
Japanese, yeah,
That's
so if
why
you learn
that.
Japanese, you would understand some Korean, some Chinese, but not all of it.
Well, that's why they say that English is the hardest language to learn because there's so many dialects. There's so many words that mean different shit.
Yeah. The one thing I find hilarious is that people say if you learn Latin, you'll never use it, but English is heavily based off Latin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I find hilarious. It's like, bro, English is technically Latin. It's not exactly Latin, but it's very heavily dependent on it.
And another really good explanation for what I was saying about the Asian languages is it's just like English in that in England they speak two types of English. There's proper English or the Queen's English, and then there's slang. And then America has different for their regions and stuff. And you can go to England and understand what they're saying, but you don't understand all of it. So it's the same way when you go from Japan to China to Korea to Vietnam to even the Philippines, because it's all the basic same language. It's just done differently.
DK,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to either kick you in the nuts or mute you next time because you've gotten us so far off track on our subjects. Jesus Christ, man!
I don't even know what happened. We were talking. Oh yeah, we were talking about the school system. I brought up Spanish because it was something, and then we went on this tangent. I'm really good at staying on topic, guys.
Well, I can tell you're worse than I am, and that's bad.
I think it's hilarious because I think it's hilarious because here Jekyll's moderating and trying to ask questions, and then I'm giving answers that segue into his questions, and then DK's giving answers that go off the rails.
All right, so to get back on topic.
With that being said, let's get back on topic.
Exactly. we got Basement Joe, who says that he trusts the science. Trust the science. We believe in trusting the science and the doctors. If the doctors say do it, do it. Then why the fuck is this guy touching his mask every 5 seconds when that's been told don't do that shit? And he wants to give Trump shit for coming to the balcony with his mask off, no social distancing, because there was nobody out there with him. And Basement Joe wants to trust the doctors. Then why is he touching his mask, doing all this dumb shit? And Trump is saying, fuck it, we have basically a cure. President Trump is overweight, not grossly, but overweight, and he is old. So to get over the virus as quick as he did, obviously he took the test shit that wasn't even, like, that's what a leader does. I'm going to try it on myself before I give it to you. Do you think he was right to be going on that little car ride that he did with his security staff in danger, even though there was plexiglass in between him and the driver and the passenger, and he had a mask on? Do you think that he is doing the wrong thing by going to these rallies and having thousands of people, and he's not even near any of them? But do you think he's right or wrong?
I think the motorcade when he was at the hospital was a good thing because, one, it's showing the American people, I'm not dying. You have nothing to worry about.
Yep.
The second thing is him catching COVID, I believe, was one of the best scenarios for this disease because it, excuse me, it proves that you can catch it and you're not going to die. Everybody thought that, everybody that catches it is going to die.
Yeah, they automatically
it's
label
only
it a death sentence.
The ratios just negate that fact. that ideology, though.
Yeah, and basically, the only people that have died from it are people with pre-existing life-threatening diseases
that would have died from a common cold.
Yeah, and the elderly. So
the reason why I'm so protective, what's the word, cautious about it, because everyone in my family has some sort of breathing issue. And if my grandmother,
Dan, yes, I did. I did say that President Trump is fat. I did. Not grossly overweight. He's not like fat. Or what the fuck's the guy in Austin Powers?
Fat bastard.
Yeah, he's not fat bastard or nothing, but he is overweight. Anyway, sorry, DK, but I had to answer Dan on that one.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, Dan's just fucking Trump's nephew. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah, my grandmother has severe asthma and COPD. So, even if there's a high likelihood that we won't die from it, I want to make sure that that's not a possibility in the slightest.
And that's my point with the disease in general is you shouldn't mandate that everybody has to do anything because people are individuals. However, people should be logical enough to go, okay, I don't want to get my family sick, so I'm going to take precautions.
Yeah, the reason why they did mandate it, from what I'm gathering, this isn't a fact, just from what I've seen, is that people weren't being logical about it.
Right.
They were just going out.
That.
Well, with that being said, like since this whole virus thing started, from day one, I've said, okay, I'm not afraid of this thing. It's kind of like the flu, and my mom has a laundry list of shit wrong with her to include all the things that they're saying will kill you if you catch this. So does my grandmother, and I'm my mom's caretaker, but I medically cannot wear a mask. I even have a note from my doctor that says no, he can't wear a mask because his PTSD will fuck him up. And so I've been going through COVID season with no mask, no gloves, no PPE, and my mom and grandma are doing the same thing. They're not going to live their life in fear. That's my biggest thing is if you mandate something, okay, how about this? Instead of making all the healthy people do all this dumb shit, how about the ones that are at risk do PPE that will protect them? Because it's stupid to have society wearing masks and shit when we don't need them. Like, I got kicked out of the store the other day. I went to go buy my grandma some apples from the place called Sprouts here in town. It's an all-organic place. They were at the door, and I was like, I showed them my medical note, and they're like, well, we're going to have to ask you to leave. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm glad, you guys are biased against disabled veterans for you to say that. And it's like, it blew my mind that people will kick you out of a store because you're not wearing a fucking mask. That 90% of the population is wearing them, but they're wearing them incorrectly, or they're wearing shit that is not going to protect them, like a T-shirt.
The funniest thing that I've ever seen was people were wearing their mask while they're driving in a car by themselves.
I laughed my ass off at that.
That is so illogical and stupid.
My whole family doesn't even do that. We started doing that because, of yesterday, my mom got in a car crash, so we don't have a car, so we're using Lyft.
Oh shit! Is she alright?
Lyft, yeah. The car might be totaled though.
That sucks.
Or you just end up getting a new car from the insurance company.
Yeah. What happened is that she was going through a green light, and there was a guy that came up, stopped, so she continued going, and then the guy just pedaled to the metal and just hit her.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, so it's like right behind the headlight was exactly where the collision hit.
Okay, before you bring us off track again, DK.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute your ass. I swear to God. All right. There's a lot of people right now somehow are still undecided. I don't get how you can be undecided at this point with as much information that's been put out. But I don't understand how somebody can vote for Biden. And he's been in politics for 45 years. He's done nothing He ran he's ran for president 3 times now, and this is his first time that he's actually been accepted by a Democratic Party to be their representative in the presidential race. But this is his 3rd try. Or 4th try, I'm sorry. He got denied 3 times before. This is his 4th try.
Right.
Like, here's the Dale, as he puts it. Like, how do you see that there is even a party or a group of people that are undecided at this point? How is that even possible?
Well,
yeah, I don't even.
That goes back to my theory that there's a lot of people out there that are claiming that either they're undecided or they're voting Democrat, and they personally have already made up their mind they're voting for Trump, and they're just not telling anybody. I've predicted since before COVID that I think that in this election, Trump is going to win by a landslide, and the only possible scenario is that there's a few of those Democratic states that are going to hold out, but there's a lot of states that are either purple or have a lot of undecideds that are going to sweep for Trump. But there's a lot of people out there that aren't saying that they're going to vote for him because they don't want the repercussions of saying they're supporting him.
Well, here in Mesa County, where I live, I literally drive all over Mesa County, everywhere. I have not seen a pro-Biden sign in Mesa County. There's Trump every fucking where. And the fact that his rallies are packed of thousands of people, you drive down the street, you see Trump everywhere, and then for the president to be hospitalized, and people flew in or drove in to be outside of the hospital to show support.
Right.
And going back to the motorcade thing, I think that was awesome because he showed that those people he appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. So and then to what Daniel just posted, how is it that the president gets nominated for Nobel Peace Prizes and the media doesn't say anything about it?
Yep,
I know so many people that don't realize that he's been nominated for peace prizes, and they just don't know about it.
Yep, and this is his fourth nomination, but he's racist, and you know.
Oh, and to the racist thing, another thing that nobody seems to know and understand is, before Trump ran for office, he was a registered Democrat, and B, he has billions of pictures on the internet where he accepted awards from the NAACP and other organizations and have pictures with all types of people, no matter what their color. Well, somebody that's racist isn't going to accept all that.
Well, his own wife is not white, and I think one of his grandchildren is a Jew. So how can he be against Jews and other ethnicities if his own wife is not white?
Right.
It makes no sense.
It boggles the mind how many people just listen to what the media spouts and believes it.
Yeah, and I have a video I'm gonna play here because everyone is saying that he is, anti-black, that he's done nothing for the black Americans. So I'm gonna play a video and see what you have to say about it. Have you seen this video?
I don't know yet.
All right, y'all, so I'm back.
So,
we up here registering people to vote.
Go live on Discord,
and
right?
I got my brother, man, I've known for a long time, love this dude to death, man. He's a really good dude, right? So I say, hey, bro, you registered to vote this year? And he's like, yeah, I'm voting. I say, who you voting for? He was like, you already know. I'm like, Trump? He's like, hell no. Hell no. I'm like, bro, are you serious? So he's asking me, he say, Cass, why? Why vote for Trump? Okay, before we get into it, because I'm going to break it down to you. Why are you voting for Biden?
I think you're a better person.
Why?
Because what's going on now in the situation with Trump.
What Trump situation?
What's going on now? Shit just fucked up. I believe he could come in and do a better job.
You really do?
I believe.
What has he done? You know he's been in politics for 47 years. What has he done in 47 years? What has he done in 47 years? Like what?
I mean, I just believe he'll do better than Trump.
Did you know that Biden, in 47 years of politics, has only been a racist, said racist things about you and me, personally, as black people, and made a bill to incarcerate black people with Bill Clinton. The crime bill. Look it up. The man just said, you ain't black unless you vote for him. All right? He also said he didn't want his children going to school in a racial jungle. Didn't want integration. He was for segregation. Also, not only that, he also said that poor kids can be just as bright and just as intelligent as white kids. Meaning that black, brown, red, yellow are poor. When he thinks poor, he doesn't think white at all. He's thinking about you and me. The dude ain't did nothing but hurt black people. And then his running mate, Kamala Harris, she's got a career of locking up black people. A career. Now, let's move over to Trump. You asked me why I'm voting for Trump. Before Trump was the president, did not everybody love him? In their music videos, rap videos, all the magazines. He got awards from black communities in the NAACP. Everybody loved him. But then when he came to president, they said he's a racist. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because when he came into politics, he started what he said, drain the swamp. He started taking out all the, not just politicians, the evil, corrupt politicians. Fired them, took them out, made them go away, and put in his people. Did you notice since he's been president, the economy has been better than it ever been. Unemployment at an all-time low. More jobs created than ever before. He stopped making us an importer and made us an exporter. To me, that means we make more money. People talk about the wall that he wanted to build over there in Mexico. Do you know why he wanted to build the wall? And remember they said that he was racist because he said that my brothers and sisters that's Mexican is murderers and rapists and stuff, right? That's not what he said. If you listen to the clip, he said that the MS-13, the gang, are rapists and murderers, not Mexicans. Not Mexicans. But they twisted that to make everybody around us believe that he's a racist, okay? Then they say, make America great again. What does he mean? When was America great? When you talk about make America great again, what he means is make America, like what I just said, an exporter again. Have jobs again. Have people believe in the American dream again, that they want to come to this country and they know that they're going to make it. Had nothing to do with race. All right? Not only that, the man gave funding for the next 10 years. This has never been done. For historic black colleges and universities, the HBCUs. Barack Obama didn't even do that. He did prison reform, meaning which directly affects us as black people because we fill up the prisons. You feel me? He said, if you're a nonviolent offender and it's just like drugs or something, and you ain't kill nobody or pull a gun on nobody, you can come home, man. There's programs set in place for you to be able to come home. He did everything that he could to show by his actions that he ain't a racist and a damn good president. He did all that. Yet, we still running around here, the people that only watch the news, we're saying, hell no, we vote for Biden because Biden was with Obama. Or Biden did so much great, but nobody can tell you none of the great that he did. But they can pull up every single thing that he's done to the black community. Specifically, Hillary Clinton called us super predators. Matter of fact, if the man isn't a racist, why did he speak at the KKK members' eulogy and said that he was his hero or inspiration or whatever? So why does he deserve your vote and not the man who's actually showing you that he cares about you? The president that's done more for the hood, black community, Hispanic community than any other president since Lincoln. You feel me? Why would it? You know me, bro. I'm a hood nigga. You know me. So why would I be telling you that? Bill Clinton's the one that did that crime bill, but they pushed it. Exactly. He knows his stuff. He know his stuff.
See, like Trump, he gonna bring the jobs back.
He been bringing them back. And that's why they did this coronavirus shit.
Like you say that export. Now we'll be the biggest export instead of China.
Exactly. He brought steel manufacturing, the automobile industry. They said that was dead. And look at us now, booming. They hit us with coronavirus. You notice that when coronavirus hit, they said everybody got to stay in the house. Nobody could go out. But yet, if you're Black Lives Matter or Antifa, you could go out and protest and burn shit down and nobody's going to say nothing. But the coronavirus is so bad. We out here standing with masks. You feel me? Why? It's an agenda. So, bro, the reason why I'm having this conversation with you is because it's important. Your vote is very important this year.
So after like people are actually educating themselves, I think it's very hard to believe that anybody is undecided at this point. And if they are undecided, do some research and look into shit. Like, what has Biden done in 47 years? I said 45. I'm sorry, it's 47, so that's my fault.
Oh, is that why you disconnected and reconnected, Jay?
And where did Jay even go?
He in chat he said had to switch to Bluetooth headset to charge phone.
Oh, okay.
So he disconnected. I dragged him in, and then he said, "Fuck you, I'm going back to the line."
All right. Well, I guess Jay, jump back in when you can, brother. And
I dragged him back in.
I'll talk to off the tracks DK over here.
Ah, hell yeah.
So
the king of bringing topics to their demise.
Well, okay, so he's talking about how Trump is not pro-black. He hates the black community, all of this dumb shit that they're saying, and twisting his narratives to make it fit their fucking agenda. When Biden is over there affiliating himself with the KKK.
Hey, Cam. Welcome to the stream.
What up, Cam?
It's hilarious because me and him became friends again. Friends? Yep, that's how you say friends. All right, anywho, with that being said, what were you saying?
I was saying shush because I think Jay's on here.
Yeah, I heard him.
Yeah, I was trying to say that I'm back on my Bluetooth headset because I had to charge my phone. Stupid Samsung made the charging port the same port as a wired headset.
Micro USB?
Yeah.
I love the pause. It's like, what are you talking about?
All right, so Jay, now, yeah, you're a little bit low, but I can hear you.
If you right click on him, you can change his volume.
Can you do that? Because I'm stuck on my slideshow.
I can't do it for you, but I can do it for myself.
So then how can I do it for him?
You gotta go to Discord, right click on him, and underneath user volume, you can bring it all the way up to 200.
Shut up. Alright, Discord, do what now? Okay, right click.
You right click on him.
Okay, user volume.
And user volume, yep.
Alright, Jay.
The only reason I had to do this is due to my power level for my phone was down to like 18%.
It wasn't over 9,000? I feel like that joke just went over your head.
It went over mine. I know that shit. Jesus Christ.
Have you never watched a Dragon Ball?
Yeah, I don't watch anime.
Oh, okay.
I
yeah.
Alright. I
was gonna
off the rails, boy.
Go into that, but I'm just gonna shut up now.
Yeah, off the rails, boy. Jay, what do you think about Trump for Black America? Do you think he is doing enough, or do you think that the Biden side is right in saying he hasn't done shit and he's just trying to hurt the black community because he's a racist?
Well, I think with that clip that we just watched, it was everything that I was just talking about before we ran the clip.
Basically, yeah. But I think you and him need to go out on the road and talk to independents.
Yeah, I think that I'm the perfect segue person because for some reason I'm mentally already knowing what you're gonna talk about for some reason.
I'm gonna have to make a show to try and stump Jay on what I'm gonna say next or something because he's always on point on what the fuck I'm about to say.
He's too smart.
Yeah, some people say that.
Your mom don't count.
Yeah, well.
Shots fired. Shots fired. It's not hitting the bump stock on your shoulder either.
Yeah,
it's not that.
Yeah, I was just bump stocking.
Bringing it right back around to bump stocks and bullshit.
Don't want me to go. What?
Don't
want me
to
go. Oh, wow. Why did that take me so long to understand? That's actually kind of sad.
Jay, this is the last question, and I want DK to shut the fuck up.
Fair.
When the election is over, and for some reason they are okaying it to mail in your vote on that day and have it postmarked, which means it's going to be like a fucking month after they count all the absentee ballots and the voter sending in shit. So we're going to know who the president is in like January. But after we find out whoever the president is, whenever that is, if it is either stolen or manipulated, because I know Trump is going to win if it's a fair election. I fucking know it just by driving around and looking at shit. If Biden wins, do you think there's going to be a civil war and a revolution in this country? I think Jay ran away
again. Yeah, so do I. Oh, it says he's talking, but I don't hear anything. Jay, did you go on to the next life?
Where did he go?
I have no idea. It has that green ring around him like he's... Oh, there he is. There he goes. he just left us now. I wonder if his phone died.
Daniel Armstrong agrees with the way I see it. If they steal this election, it's going to be a big problem. I totally agree, Dan.
The way I see it, since you said that the media is twisting everything to Biden's favor.
Well, now that you're
a lot of people
like
aren't
the presidential
going to,
debate, people don't like interrupters. Asshole, I was talking. My opinion is the same as Daniel's because it's not going to be instant. I don't think it's going to be after people realize what the Biden clan is doing. Biden's not going to be president. He's going to be president for like a day, and then Harris is going to get in there because of the 25th Amendment, and she's going to take our guns. She's going to take our Constitution away. Oh, there's Jay.
My take on the gun thing, like that, probably stricter rules.
Stricter my ass. They're going to get rid of the Second Amendment, guaranteed.
I don't see a reason to get rid of guns.
Because there's not.
There isn't. Yeah, maybe stricter rules because of some shit that's going on with mass shootings, but don't take it away.
Okay, but do you really think that the people that are going to go out and cause mass shootings give a fuck if it's legal to buy a gun? They're going to find guns, they're going to do the shit, and unarmed civilians are going to be fucked because they can't call the police because they want to defund the police and get rid of them. And you can't own a gun. So who are we supposed to call, and what are we supposed to do if they take our guns?
Nothing. You literally can't.
Exactly. So I think there will be a civil war or a revolution, whichever one you want to call it, after they start doing this shit and people get fed up. It could be a year from now when it kicks off, but I'm kind of looking forward to it, honestly. I gotta go back to my infantry days and be in the militia. So Dan, I will join. I'll join Dan's militia. I'm gonna put it that way.
Well, my opinion is I'm pro 2A. And there's actually a independent rap artist named Bryson Gray, I believe, or maybe it's Tyson James. One of the two of them did a song called 2A.
What those are the dudes that put out the one I reacted to, right? The Trump one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those dudes are awesome.
But he did a pro 2A song that's just called 2A that I've been telling reactors to try to react to, but a lot of them are trying to stay away from the political spectrum.
I'll jump on that one. I'll jump on it. I guarantee I'll jump on that one.
I don't blame them though.
I do, because if you don't want to stand up and voice your opinion and voice what you think, that's what the Democratic Party, in my opinion, want. They want us to be quiet, shut the fuck up, don't tell anybody what you think. I'm gonna be loud as fuck. I'm gonna tell them what I think, and I'm gonna be one of their people in the crosshairs. I'll be that. I don't care. I'm definitely going to react to that song. That's going to be my next reaction, I guarantee. And I promise to all my supporters, my viewers, and my subscribers, and my fans, that's the next one I'm going to be reacting to because I just now found out about it literally 5 seconds ago from Jay. He might have tweeted me about it or DM'd me about it, but I've been so busy with other shit I haven't really gotten into anything. But that's going to be my next one.
Yeah, that's why I don't bug you on reactions. Is I'll send something and I know you'll get to it on your own time. But that's something that I was taught at a young age. If you don't stand up for what you believe in, you'll fall for anything.
Yep. I'd rather die on my feet than Die on my knees or something like that.
You don't want strict rules. Once you do that, they will go further with it. Go look at Australia right now. They are in tyranny because they took the guns. The only reason why I said anything about stricter rules is because of what Jekyl said about them wanting to take guns. So I was saying, if you want to take our guns, the most logical thing is just stricter rules.
Yeah, but
I'm not vouching for doing it. I'm just saying that's the better action.
Well, look at kids nowadays. If you tell a kid not to do something, what do they want to do? They want to do it wrong. So
exactly.
Put tighter restrictions and rules and shit. People are going to rebel.
Yeah.
And that's another thing of I tell all the people I love living in Mississippi because Mississippi passed open carry, and you don't have to have a permit to carry a gun. You still have to go through all the checks and balances when you buy it, but you can carry a gun no matter what. But there are places that have posted. But they have places posted up where you cannot come in if you have a firearm on you, so you have to leave it in your car.
Which some places, some places, I agree. You can't bring your gun. You can't bring your gun to a bank.
If a bank is completely fine with that, they're asking for issues.
Yeah, and that's just logic at that point. You don't bring a gun to a school. You don't bring a gun to a fucking bank. It's logical.
I mean, this is the American people you're talking about. Not a lot of people are the smartest out there.
Well, look at Texas.
Yeah, but
Texas don't give a shit. Yeah. They're going to do what they want to do, and that is probably the most secure state in America.
I wouldn't know. I don't really look into politics as much as I probably should.
Well, it's like in Mississippi. Ever since we
Team Canada.
Well, in Mississippi, whenever we passed open carry, our gun violence went down instead of up. We still have crime, but it's petty crime like theft and shit. But gun violence and gun death went down.
Yep. Because people have the ability to defend themselves when somebody pulls a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
If you take all the guns from the citizens, the only people that have them are bad people.
Yeah, that was a staple when I was growing up. If you take guns away from normal people, the only people that will have guns are criminals.
Yeah, and exactly. I'll say it right now publicly, and you can unsub me and send me all the hate mail you want. I don't really give a fuck. I am pro-police. Yeah. Simple as that. Because there are bad cops. There are bad cops, but most of them are good cops, and good cops hate bad cops.
Yep. It's like this whole defund the police thing. I just don't get it.
It's stupid.
Yeah. My brother is a corrections officer that just got deputized for city police. So I'm all for the police. If you're going to do something bad, it goes back to you make your bed, you lay it. If you do something wrong, then you need to face the consequences.
Exactly. Yep. My brother is for defunding the police. He said something about how much they get and wanting to transfer it to other people, but I still don't understand it.
Well, they only show on mainstream media the bad videos of what cops do to black people. I watched a video the other day of this black dude. He was wearing a white shirt, red shorts, and he had a beard. And somebody had just robbed a house in that area. He fit the description to a T. The cops came out. They put him in handcuffs. They just detained him for a minute, ran his picture to the witness, and just waited. They just bullshitted with him. They weren't mean to him. They didn't do shit because he complied with what the police were saying. And guess what? They not only let him go because the witness said, no, it's not him. They gave him a job. Mm-hmm. So if you don't resist arrest and you don't do dumb shit, you're going to be fine.
Yep.
But what I find funny is the Democrats and black people in general, they tend to say that nobody knows what it's like to be messed with by the cops. And I can tell you that's false.
Well, white privilege, man.
Well, it's false because all growing up, I was a white dude with long hair. that walked everywhere at no matter what time of day or night it was. And I would get stopped by the cops all the time because they wondered what this long-haired white dude was doing walking by this neighborhood, and they would question me. And I would cooperate and tell them what I was doing. And I never said, oh, I know my rights, and get angry with them, because that escalates the situation.
Yeah.
I'm polite. I tell them what I'm doing. They take down all my information. They get my license. They run it to see if I have warrants. I don't. So then I'm free to go. And they tell me if anything happens, you're going to be the first person we question. I'm fine with that.
One thing that I was taught that I completely disagree is if you're there's a part of the Constitution.
Hello. Turn down your mic, motherfucker. You're blowing out my eardrums.
Oh, am I too loud?
Yeah,
My
you're
bad.
loud as fuck.
I'm screaming. That's probably. Well, they always said to say I plead the. God, was it the fifth? I'm not sure.
Plead the fifth. Yep. Self-incrimination.
Yeah, they were saying to do that. I'm just like, that's not a good idea. They showed us a video of someone doing that, and it was escalating the whole thing so quickly. It's like, you really want us to do this?
Well, I was watching this video. It was a black woman. Her car was registered on their system as stolen. All they did was not even put her in handcuffs, just detain her. You can't leave. While we run this through, I can see that you are the registered owner of this vehicle. All we have to do is clear it out of our system. And she escalated the fuck out of that situation badly, to the point where she tried to almost run over a cop.
Jesus.
She got arrested, and she had her child in the car. All she had to do was comply, like shut the fuck up, stop screaming at the cops and spitting on them, and she would have been let go within 5 minutes. But she didn't, and she got arrested. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about escalation.
Well,
the video. My bad.
Well, the thing that people fail to realize with pleading the fifth, that does not mean that you can get away from getting arrested and get away from the cops. All it means is you are not allowed to say anything but your name. And I think it's only once or twice, and then you can't say anything else. If they tell you to do stuff, you still have to do it.
Yep.
And what they'll do is they'll bring you in, and they'll get you a lawyer. You can talk to your lawyer, and the lawyer will speak for you. But then you're stuck in the system, and you have to wait for your trial and go through trial, get bonded out or whatever.
Or you could have just complied and been out in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you complied, you don't even go in. They go, oh, well, this is just a big misunderstanding. We're sorry. Go on your way.
Yeah.
Yep.
The video they showed me was someone trying to cross the border at a police check doing that. And that just made it even worse. It made it even more stupid.
There was a video I watched online that there was this black couple that got pulled over for speeding. And rather than comply with the cops, they rolled up their windows, they ignored the cops, they started praying, Lord, take this evil away from me, this, that, and the other, and escalated the situation where the cops got their supervisor there, they still refused to comply, and the supervisor went, you have no choice, break the windows and drag them out of the car, and that's what they did.
Yeah. One video I watched is this kid blew a stop sign. It was like a 19-year-old kid blew a stop sign. Cops tried to pull him over. He pulled over to the left side of the road instead of the right, because that's where his house was. He parked in front of his house, and all the police did was get on their megaphone and say, "Sir, please pull to the right side of the road." Because how is she supposed to? The female cop supposed to know that that's where he lived. But anyway, the driver gets out of the car because his mom was standing there, and she told him to stand next to her. And the white police officer woman was very respectful, explained why he was being detained until a backup arrived. She's like, why do you need backup to give my son a ticket? Because he got out of the fucking car. If he stayed his ass in the car, she would have been done writing him a ticket, done in 5 minutes. Instead of escalating to this like 30-minute thing where this mom was like going off on this cop and shit. It's like, if you just shut the fuck up.
that's with everything. If you escalate the situation, it's gonna
exactly, Cam.
escalate.
Exactly.
And
also, real quick, Cam, if you wanna join, since you're in the actually, continue with that. I'll just type it in chat. My bad, Jake.
I mean, it's like with you, Jekyl, being into music. You know, if you do a diss track on somebody, that they're gonna do a diss track on you, and it's just gonna keep going back and forth unless you.
Well, unless your name is Casual Cheater, then you don't say shit.
Well, all right. But, and realize where the problem lies and how to fix it. Nothing gets fixed.
Yep.
And you just keep having beef over and over and over again, and that's with everything in life. If you're at a bar and you think somebody's staring at you, if you go over and go, "What you staring at, motherfucker?" They're gonna probably go, "Nothing, but I'll fight you," and it'll turn into a fight. If you go, "Hey, are you looking at me? Is there a reason? I want to talk to you and find out why," and they go, "Oh no, I was watching TV over you," and you go, "Oh, okay."
Nowadays, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, in everything you do, if you escalate the situation, it's going to escalate, so don't be surprised at the reaction. If you look at it from a logical standpoint and be respectful of each other, it usually will not escalate. There are exceptions to every rule, especially like in a bar because of alcohol, but,
With that being said, the media has made America so racial clashing, it is unreal, to the point where a white guy was crossing a road and 3 black men were sitting there looking at him, and all the white guy did was say, "What are you looking at?" And these guys savagely grabbed a knife, cut the dude, and his guts were spilling out, and they continued to beat the shit out of him while his guts were on the ground. And this dude was such a beast, dude. He picked himself up, held his guts in his hand, walked to the fire department, and he ended up going to the hospital, and he's perfectly fine. So it's like,
that's surprising, actually.
Well,
that's a beast.
Well, it's not, it's not just with racial tensions. The media has polarized the country so bad that you have people, even like in the gay community, that bash each other because they don't believe it's the same thing. And, Reagan talked about that. It's like with transgenders, you shouldn't have people that are physically men, even though they identify as a woman, competing in female sports and vice versa, because the anatomy is designed different.
Yep. I totally agree. And everyone knows my stance on the whole gender fluidity thing, and it's body dysmorphia. It is a mental disorder, and they need help. They don't need sex changes, because the statistics speak alone. 65% of people that get the gender reassignment surgery done end up committing suicide. 65%. If that's not telling you that it's a mental disorder, I don't know what will.
Oh, and that's another thing, is the medical industry has gotten so into prescribing drugs for shit.
Yep.
That nobody sits down and talks to people and finds out, oh, well, you have this problem because of this trauma in your childhood, and let's figure out how to fix that without drugs.
Yep.
Yeah. I stopped my medication because I just didn't want to deal with it.
That's good. Because like when my wife had committed suicide, I was fucked up over it. And I went to a therapist for a year. And
don't get me started on those.
Well, I don't really like therapists. I don't really think they do much. But this lady that they assigned me to was a fucking miracle worker, because she got me to the point of saying, okay, this happened, and now I'm going to live my life the way I need to be happy, because she chose to do that. I can't just stop my life because she killed hers. And
exactly.
There was no drugs involved. It was just a year of therapy.
Yeah.
What, Jay?
Okay, I was just making sure you could still hear me because Discord is in the red.
Yep.
But to my point is, full disclosure, I went to college for a year for psychology. I dropped out because I just moved and didn't feel like going to school anymore. But I had all the courses for my associate's degree in psychology. I just had to do my continuing education course.
Dude, I think me and you are the same person because
I would have gotten a degree.
Well, see, I think me and you are actually the same person because I'm the same way. I was going for a degree in psychology, and I completed 2 years out of it. And after 2 years of it, I was like, okay, you know what, fuck this. If I'm going to use my Montgomery GI Bill, I'm going to go into music production classes. So that's what I ended up with. But yeah, I'm the same way. Anyway, go ahead with your story. If you're still there. Oh no, he's gone. And for all of
oh,
you
that was
motherfuckers,
great. Oh, that was great.
And all you people that are sitting there saying, Jekyl, Jesus Christ, you smoke a lot. Yes, I do.
That's great. If you're still there, leaves. Oh, that was great. Oh, I gotta drag him in. I forgot.
Yeah, do your job, damn it.
Also, Cam wants in, but he can't see that voice chat apparently. So I told him to join a random one, and I'll drag him in.
That works.
Yeah.
I thought Cam said his headphone don't work. He's getting
No, that was Daniel.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought it was Cam. Oh, Jay, you're back.
Yeah, something happened where I was popped out and popped back in here. And
yeah, it was perfect time too.
Anyway, what were you saying? You got your associate's degree in psychology. So go ahead with what you were saying. I didn't mean to cut you off to the point where you got kicked out.
Yeah. Well, I had been in college to get my degree. I moved and I could have gotten my degree, but I didn't do my continuing education courses. But I was going to be a psychologist and not a psychiatrist because I think that more people need to deal with their problems instead of medicate. And if people would just deal with their issues and problems, then you could figure out what's wrong and know how to combat it.
Yeah, and not in all cases. I think medication therapy works for some people, but I think if you should go the route of psychology before you jump into medication as your answer.
I beat you to it, Cam.
Right. There is a small percentage that I believe needs to have medication, and I'm not saying not all people need it, but there's more people that could just benefit from therapy than medication. And the medical field has gone, oh no, everybody needs to be medicated. No, not everybody needs to be medicated. Yeah. Some people just need to be taught how to deal with their feelings.
Like my son, he's got ADHD, and he's also we just found that he could be borderline autistic, but I didn't jump straight into giving him Ritalin. I went through 2 years of trying to figure out different paths, avenues, things he can try, things that don't work, and we finally put him on Ritalin, and now he's actually going to occupational therapy so he can stop his Ritalin because there are other ways.
Yeah. Like, I was getting my bad.
Well, I was just gonna say that also goes into the whole teaching aspect. Something that I always tell people in the best way to learn is find something that you are passionate about and implement that into your learning. So, like, if you're doing math and you hate math, try to put your math equations into something that you like doing and figure it out. You know, if you like to shoot guns, your math is, your distance, and those equations you need. If it's sports, put it into an equation of your sports. Of you have this many people, you have to go this far, things like that. And that's a better way of teaching than teaching a strict, this is the way to do things.
Yeah,
if you go ahead and implement that, then, people learn better if you give it in a way that they can understand it and that they can focus on and like doing.
Exactly. And speaking of sports real quick, I'm getting really sick and tired of this coronavirus shit. My Patriots games have been so fucked up because Cam Newton got damn COVID. First pushed my game to Monday night, and now the one with the Broncos, who's my fiance's favorite team. So we're gonna have a fun time with that. They pushed that back from this Sunday to next Sunday. I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
Well, I've been saying for years, when the Patriots lose Brady, they're going to see just how well they can do with, cheating to win.
Hey, now, my team don't cheat. I got to stick with that one, even though I know they do.
Now
I'm a Steelers fan, yes.
Now, I'm not the one going off topic here.
Well, all the topics are done. We already covered all the topics, so we're basically done with this live stream, but we just keep talking about shit, so fuck it.
Alright, going back to the whole medication thing. I'm diagnosed with depression, anxiety, ADHD, and PTSD. I will say it's not as bad as what Jekyl has, but I ended up getting over my depression literally by myself, no help. Like, if that doesn't go to show, like, depression is a big thing.
Yeah,
like,
depression's hard to overcome.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy in the slightest.
Well, look at me. I've been depressed with my kids thing going on. I haven't put out a new track in 4 months. I completely stopped my reaction channel, and I'm starting to right now just get back into everything. But yeah, depression's a bitch, man.
Yeah, like it took me the longest time to teach myself to try and look at everything in a positive light. It's if you're always negative about everything, it's not going to help you overcome anything.
See, that's something that I tell people all the time when it comes to depression, because I do battle depression myself. But what I found that works the best for me, and it may not work for everybody, but it's something to try if you've never tried it, is distract your mind from your depression.
Exactly.
If you start thinking, do something that distracts your mind from it. Watch comedy that will make you laugh. Do something that takes your mind off of it, or write out your thoughts to get you out of it.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. Do something constructive with your negativity, because I always turn to rap. Always.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to even do that. So when that method fails me, I've been lost on, okay, what do I do now? So you always have to have a backup to your plan of depression fighting, because
exactly,
it's not always going to work.
Well, that not only to distract your mind, but if you know that you have something creative that you can do and you're in a depressed state, reach out to somebody that'll talk to you, that can help get you to see the better side of everything. Because if you sit alone and dwell in it, it's just going to keep festering. But if you talk to somebody, you can go ahead and go, hey, you don't need to think like this. This is happening good, and this is good, and you can do this, and it'll get those creative juices flowing.
And not only that, they might say something that clicks with you that you didn't think of, like a silver lining that you didn't see, but now they brought it to your attention. Now you see it.
Yeah. So, what helped me? Oh, my bad.
Well, I was just saying, like with you, Jekyl, I mentioned a show idea that you went, oh, that's a great idea, and it sparked something.
Yeah. I agree. There's been a lot of people that have been reaching out, and I want to thank all of the ones who have been reaching out to see if I'm all right, and they know what I've been going through with the custody stuff, and y'all have been reaching out. I appreciate that a lot. It's not that I've been ignoring you. It's just there's times where I want to talk, and there's times where I don't want to talk, and when I get really reclusive, that's when music usually helps, and when that doesn't help and I'm reclusive, that's why I've been stagnant for 4 months. So I just had to pick myself up and say, you know what, fuck this. I got to do this.
Yeah,
and that's something people that don't have depression need to understand. One, talk to your friends, but don't keep pushing.
Exactly.
That'll make them away from you rather than open up to you. You have to let them come to you on their own terms.
Yes. That a thing that helped me with my depression. It might sound very cliche and that I'm lying, But
that you're being very loud. Asshole. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Loudboy.
Thank you very much. Quiet, sir. That joke made no sense, but sure. Well, I got a girlfriend. Stupid, cliche. Sounds like I'm lying, but it helped. It helped.
You are lying. You are lying because you can't get no damn girlfriend. Everyone knows.
I had one, bro. I had one for like almost a year. Then I broke up with her because exactly what you guys are saying, pushing when someone's depressed.
Yep.
That's what happened. So it's like all the feelings I had just dissipated. Because if you're just gonna push me to talk.
Yeah, that's what we were saying is, if you reach out and you're depressed to somebody, and you find somebody that is supportive of you and talks with you and doesn't prejudge you or judge what you're going through, it's gonna make you feel better about yourself. And if you end up having a relationship, if you break up, okay, move on.
Mhm. Yeah, she was very supportive. It just she kept contacting me when I just wanted to be left alone, and whenever I wouldn't reply, she'd put in all caps "hello" with 2 question marks and an exclamation point, and it started pissing me off.
That's what I was about to bring up. Is there's a difference between being supportive and wanting to be there, and then when they say, "Hey, I'm going through something," I'll be in and out of contact with you, and then you don't contact them for a while, and then they say, "Okay, well, obviously, I'm not your friend, or obviously you don't care about me."
Oh my god!
And they start putting that shit on you. That only escalates your depression.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
Yeah, I never do that with him. I always will say, hey, are you okay? What's going on? And if they reach out and say, I'm just going through a lot of stuff, give me some time, I'm like, all right, just let me know. And I let them be.
The thing with me is that I wouldn't let anyone know, which I should, but I wouldn't do it because if I want to be left alone, I literally will not talk to anyone.
Right, and that's the thing with depression is you tend to feel so bad about what you're going through, you don't want to talk about it because it just makes you feel worse.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with somebody with depression, you have to be supportive of them, but let them have their time to come around and go, well, this is what I'm dealing with. And when you hear it and go, that's not so bad, you don't tell them that because that just makes them feel worse. You just gotta go, hey, buddy, I understand everybody goes through this.
Yep.
Even that can also trigger, but you have to be understanding of what they're going through and have the compassion to go, well, if you need to talk, I'm here. And really listen to what they're saying.
Well, Jay, as a like-minded person and a background in some psychology, learning, like you were saying, do you think it's ever appropriate to look at somebody and say, okay, you know what, this is enough, you need to fucking just deal with it and get up and go? Do you ever think that's a good method?
I want to say yes, but there's stipulations to it. When somebody is constantly, oh, poor woe is me, my life is always wrong.
Yes.
They're just looking for attention.
I was just going to say that.
But if somebody is seriously clinically depressed, they're not going to be doing something like that. They're just going to be like, I just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
They're really reclusive.
Yeah.
To me,
I don't want to talk about it. Talking is going to make it go worse.
Well, to me, there's 2 different types of depressed people. There's actual depressed people, and then there's people wanting attention. The actual depressed people, most of the time, I'm not categorizing it as a blanket statement, but most of the people that are actually depressed are very reclusive.
Yep.
Right. And some of the best things that I've seen that help with people that are depressed and clinically depressed is just being goofy with them.
Yep.
Not even talking about anything, just
being goofy and cracking jokes and having fun.
Yeah, that's
to bring people up the repression.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why I've developed my ability to be very energetic even on low energy.
Well, give me that secret, because I'm always low energy. I have no energy. I barely get my fucking self out of bed some days. I'm just like, man, damn it, I don't want an adult today.
Please no adulting. I really don't want it.
Well, that's also something that people need to realize is that yes, everybody has points where they have low energy.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out what you do that helps create the energy in you to get going and move on. And
motivation's a huge factor.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I was always taught when I was a young child, because my parents were highly religious and Catholic, is to always remember the last perfect person to walk the face of the earth, they crucified. So nobody's perfect. So even when you start thinking, oh, my life is terrible, somebody else has it worse than you.
Yes. Cam, would you like to say anything on the matter?
There's no such thing as perfection. Perfection is a myth. Wait,
that is very true.
We got Cam on here?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, guys? I've just been listening.
He's been here for like 15 minutes.
I feel like it's better than actually watching the stream. I'm actually just here listening to this. This is great.
Well, I'm glad. I appreciate you rolling through, brother. I haven't talked to you in a hot minute.
No problem. Yeah, I haven't talked to you since we did the, what was it, Cypher 2 reaction or Cypher 3 reaction?
Oh, bro, that was a long ass.
Which one was it?
That was Cypher 2.
I think it was Cypher 2, yeah.
Cypher 2, I think that's the last time I spoke to you on Discord, I think.
That was the one that we all didn't like.
Hey, we did
the one that I
best
got my clickbait. Yeah.
Jekyl, fuck, I called him Jekyl again, god damn it. Jekyl calls out Crypt.
Yeah, and Crypt responded.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I forgot what he said.
What's up, Jay?
I said I have a quick question. Are we still live?
Yep, we're still live, brother.
Cool. I wonder how many people are still in the live chat.
5.
5.
You got the numbers.
But whenever I go to it with the Bluetooth headset, I can't quite. I end up having issues, so I'm looking at the Discord.
Yeah.
I've got those physical blocks.
Yeah, one of the people watching is me because I don't have the stream paused, so it counts me as watching.
One of them was me as well.
Okay, well then there's actually only 3 people watching.
No, probably 2. 2 because I'm watching on my phone to make sure I'm keeping up with the chat. So there's like one motherfucker in here probably. with that being said, then I think I'll probably end the segment.
I was gonna say, but with that said, we're having fun just talking and.
Yeah. Well, this could clarify as a podcast right now.
Yeah. Well, we can have fun, keep chatting in the Discord if we want. That's fine. But I think with the segment being almost 2 hours long now,
it's over 2 hours.
I think I'm gonna cap it off here.
What? How long has it
Hey,
been?
I'm here for 2 hours. Jeez.
2 hours and 13 minutes.
Hey, we had a lot to talk about for the first episode, and Jay, I appreciate you. Jay, I appreciate you taking your time to come out and be on this. And being my first pilot episode guy.
I appreciate you putting up with my bullshit and changing topics.
You're not invited.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Hey, can I take his spot, guys? Can I take his spot? I mean, I'm down.
DK, you can moderate and you can bring people in and out, but I'm going to make you completely mute. You can't say shit.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not mad about that.
Well, with that being said, I already got a number. Sorry, what's up, Jay?
I was gonna say, but with that being said, this is not the longest show that I've been a part of. There was a show at I think the bar or at Crossroads that went 3 hours one night.
Jesus.
Damn, we gotta keep going.
well, hey Cam, I got on my second episode. I already have somebody lined up for that, but you can be on the third one if you would like.
Oh, I would laugh
I'd
if
be
you.
down.
I would laugh if at some point you actually had me on this, even though I'm like the worst person to ever interview.
Hey, dumbass, you're
Yeah, I
on
don't
it.
think no.
You got your way on it. All right. Well, for anybody who has been watching and in and out and everything, Daniel Armstrong, thanks for coming out and hanging out with me. This has been a good pilot episode. I'm definitely going to do more of these and have more topics, and it's not going to be political and all that type of shit. But with that being said, I'm going to cap it off, and thanks for watching on JMP. We're going to have live reactions coming up. We're going to have a whole bunch of new shit coming out, so it's going to be interesting and excellent. Thank y'all. Thank the DK for moderating and fucking the show up again.
You are very welcome. It's my pleasure to always be that one guy that fucks everything.
All right, we're out of here.
I don't know if that's a good